we are Student Government Association, and as the Student Government Association, we represent the students. Any concern that may come up in the Elon community, it's up for us to address it, and it's up to us to address student life as a whole on campus.
I think part of that is that we're not just being reactive and listening to student feedback, but also we're going out and looking for potential problems.
Evan, what is it that you guys do that matter? Why should students be involved with SGA and follow what you guys do?
Well, most importantly, we do represent the rights and opinions of students. That's our mission. It's in the Constitution. That's primary. But also, we deal with a $500,000 budget. 140 organizations on campus are funded by SGA. Homecoming, that's under our command. So every year, all the events during homecoming, we take care of that. That's the executive secretary's job. And then each week, we have Senate meetings, and like this past week, a resolution to build an outdoor swimming pool. We deal with matters of legislation, student issues, a wide variety of tasks in those meetings.
What do you think, you've been on SGA since you were a freshman, you interact with students who aren't in SGA, what do you think their perception of you guys is?
To be quite honest, I mentioned in my speech for the candidates position last week that people don't know what SGA is. We've talked about people don't know what SGA does. I think that people really have no concept of anything that goes on. In fact, I think people sometimes make comic relief that it's really dorky to get involved because they don't see the outcome.
So
why do you think that is? I just want to...
Honestly, I really think that it's purely like communication. As many of us have mentioned before, like we really need, it's our job to put ourselves out there, to talk to people, get their opinions, and make people want to be involved.
Now let's fix the problem then. In a sentence or two, each of you state what you're going to do, if elected, to fix the communication gap between students. We'll start with Joe.
I think the most important thing is making sure students recognize our faces. That's a very basic thing. We've talked about over and over again putting up boards in, say, the business center with the business seat, but we just never follow through with things like that. Also, that just means having more contact with students and us being more transparent with what we do on a daily basis.
Taylor?
Students need to know that they have representatives in SGA. Okay. Every single person in this student body is represented by someone that sits on the Senate. And these students need to know who it is representing them. We have representatives for Campus Rec. We have a representative for the Multicultural Center. And it's very important that these students are on a face recognition with the people that they can go to bring up issues in SGA.
And I talk about this directly in my campaign, outreach. We have to get there and talk to the students, whether it be getting out of the Mosley office, getting downstairs, talking to people in the public office hours, a weekly television show. I'd love to do that. This is a great forum right now. Presidential radio addresses. We got to figure out better ways to tell students what SGA does.
Rachel.
Like I mentioned earlier, I think that the YouTube videos that Justin put out earlier this year have been really, really successful. View counts have been steadily climbing throughout the year, and I think various other PR campaigns above and beyond, like as everyone's really mentioned, we've done electronics, we've done mostly TV ads. It's time to have face-to-face contact, have conversations, and find out what the people want. Last week we had a table in Mosley, and I sat there for 2 hours with everyone, and people were constantly writing up issues and things they wanted to see changed, and I think that's the start of something that could be really great.
Do you guys think that there is not a problem, but do you think that students view SGA as Greek heavy?
I'd like to address that actually, and you guys can definitely follow me if you agree or disagree, but we can't really control who runs and their affiliation, but I can guarantee you that the second that you walk into the Senate chamber, none of us are affiliated. We represent the students and we represent the organization of Student Government Association.
We've talked to a few people that used to be in SGA. Some of them said they dropped out because they felt there was a Greek influence. So I'm not going to say that it's a bad influence or anything, but Taylor, you're unaffiliated. Have you felt any of that, or have you, Michael?
No, for me, SGA, each senator is a person, and when I look at them or when I have discussions with them in SGA, it's not this person who is a senator who is affiliated with this organization. We each bring things to the table that have nothing to do with what we're affiliated with, so I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have friends in like all through Greek life, different sororities, fraternities, and I mean everybody in their own way wants to do something to contribute to Elon. I just think that, this year or the past, you've had a lot of, people who are Greek life on it. Who's to say the next 3 years you won't? I mean, I just think everybody wants to help out and do whatever they can, so.
A question from Twitter and Facebook, I can see a couple. I have to ask you this one because it was directed towards you,
Right.
Mr. Martin. It's from a junior. Mr. Martin said he couldn't balance his time and issues in the committee, Student Issues Committee. Essentially, this question asks, how can you justify putting more responsibilities on your plate next year?
Absolutely, I would love to address this question. I was given Student Issues Committee in the middle of the semester. I already had organized my time and my schedule without the Student Issues Committee, so when this was thrown into the mix, I got kind of lost. But I planned ahead for this next semester. I rearranged my schedule because I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. So time has nothing to do with anything time has nothing to do with anything if I get elected in the executive presidency.
Great. We have a question for Mr. Nowak, and I think you got it over there.
Yes. This question says that you must address specifically what Justin Peterson failed to do as executive student body president, and if you can't, then why will be change?
As student body president or as class president?
As executive student body president.
The whole thing of being senior class president is, helping the seniors move forward and to, secure their stuff post Elon. I mean, Justin's job really isn't that. So as, executive president, that's more of a class by class basis to, focus on the, the students. And I feel that I'm definitely going to be able to do that, help with the students, post Elon.
The issue that has gotten the most student attention in SGA that I've seen in my 4 years at Elon, besides maybe the condom dispensers in dorms, is this pool. It's like the big issue that students are talking about. And another question that we got addresses that why are we putting the pool in South Campus? Your treasurer, Adam Walton, said that we're putting it there to try to build up South Campus. Is it possible to build up South Campus if students refuse to go there? Are students going to be going to this pool? And go around, just start with that.
Well, I think one thing that will help South Campus will be the passageway under the railroad tracks.
Yep.
Another key part of building it at South Campus, it was the best fit that the architects saw with the campus master plan. So there's some other initiatives going on in the next 10-year plan, the next strategic plan, that was the best fit for the swimming pool.
So you're saying down the road, South Campus will get invested more money and more buildings, perhaps? To bring students
part of that, and also the investment in, let's say, main campus near Mosley. There's plans for that area already.
Yeah, and as Evan said, there will be more attention put in South Campus. It's an area campus that isn't highly utilized at this point, and it's a perfect place for the pool. On top of that, you have to think of the people who are going to the pool. They're going to be wearing bathing suits, they're going to be shirtless, they're going to be in bikinis. If it's by campus rec, they're going to be walking through Mosley, and that's just not appropriate. It has to be in a secluded area of campus where students can specifically go for recreational purposes that isn't inappropriate for the rest of campus.
I definitely agree on that, and you have to Elon's a growing school. We're building buildings every year, and I think that it's natural to, this year's a pool. We're going to put a pool on South Campus. Nothing's really over there besides the golf course, club fields. Great location for a pool. Next year it's going to be something else. Every year the school's growing, and so I think it's only natural that pool this year, whatever, next year.
And Taylor, finally.
Just reiterating what everyone said, the architect put the pool in that location because he felt like that was the best fit for it. There wasn't really another place on campus for it. And people do go to South Campus. You can see people at rugby games or lacrosse games. People go to the driving range. This is a utilized part of campus.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we finish this show? The elections are on Tuesday, is that correct? And Wednesday. So is there anything else you guys want to say?
Yeah, please come out and vote.
Yeah, it takes 15 seconds. Sign on just like you're going on the blackboard. There's pictures next to each candidate's name. Click on the one you want and vote.
And you don't have to do it on, in Mosley. You can do it on your own computer at home.
So get involved with SGA and maybe we can see things that students want.